In this screencast, I'm going to show you the three basic parts of Visualize and give you an overview of how it all works together. So there are three primary screens that are in there. There's the map screen, which has a slippy map, kind of like Google Maps. There's a timeline, which shows the timed events, and you can roll through them. And then the story panel, which shows more textual-based information. So we'll go through the map first. So the map essentially is a standard Google style map. The map can be a variety of different base maps. So in this case, I've got the satellite map on, but I can go in and make it a road map, or I could make it, say, a watercolor map, which is kind of fun looking, or let's go back to the satellite. All right, so the idea is you've got this map, and then you can put things on top of the map, and they move with the map. So they're geo-referenced is the word that's used to say that. So one of the things you can put on the map is a dot, and a dot can be a variety of shapes, even though I call them all dots. They can be stars, squares, triangles, things like that. You can see there's a triangle right there, and they move with the map, and they have a title underneath them. You can also put on a variety of things, like as I move it, you can put paths, so you can connect the dots with a path, kind of like an Indiana Jones type thing. You can put images on top of it. So here I've got a map that I put, and it's got an image of Washington, D.C. in there, layered on top of the map with some transparency. And you can also put KML files, which are vector images, and also draw things on top of it. Now when you click on a map element, it can bring up a pop-up menu. This one is a booklet, and a booklet is a special type of pop-up menu that has multiple pages in it, and it's useful for showing more information than a typical just little pop-up. But a standard pop-up looks like this, and you can make it large, and it's basically got a picture on one side and a text on the other. Now the timeline is used to show timed events, and basically it starts from the beginning of time that you set on the timeline, in this case 1740 to 1830, and each one of these dots is represented on the timeline, and then various things can happen, and I'll talk more about these in later podcasts. Basically actions. So there are a bunch of actions that can happen. So typically, I think almost all of them I have, like for Monticello, when you click on Monticello, it goes to Monticello. That's a where action. It also put up the pop-up. Oftentimes in history projects, you'll have issues where the you have multiple timelines going on. So we want to segment timeline. That's what the segment option is for. So you can take that whole stretch of time from 1740 to 1830 and break it up. So now I just want to look at the colonial era from 1740 to 1763, the Revolutionary era, the New Nation and all that, or look at the whole thing. And it's really just a way of segmenting the time out. The final panel that we have is the story panel. It's used for showing more textual type things. Now I'm showing it in the stepped mode. So in the step mode, I get a table of contents, and I can go to any of these pages here and then look through them. If it's too big, it scrolls, and I can also just step through them this way, and I can also use the keyboard to do that. Another way of displaying the story panel is to show it in scrolled mode. This is step mode, so let's do scrolled mode. It's really the same thing. The same information is being displayed on in a row, and you essentially click on one of the pieces, and you click on one of the options, and it opens or it closes, and that's useful.